And also, it's something where working in teams, working in groups, it's not that any one person has the answer to the whole problem. You're working through the problem together. I call it walking the path of discovery together. Hello everyone, welcome. Welcome to another random walk with Elaine. Today we are walking in one of the county parks of Arlington, Virginia. It is nice and cool finally because it was brutally hot this past week. I missed it because I was in Houston, another brutally hot place right now in the summer, at Johnson Space Center. And so it was nice to come back to the East Coast here and get a little break from all the extreme heat. So I'm taking a nice little evening stroll along a stream here. It's called Lubber Run Stream. So actually we can like wander down here by the water here. And yeah, it's just nice to have a nice little break from the heat and everything. I was at Johnson Space Center working with my team, and it was an intense like 3 days worth of work, and that made me think about the fun of working in teams sometimes, and actually how energizing it can be. I know for introverts like me, sometimes it can be draining, but I was thinking about it. It's like, actually it can be energizing because of the whole flurry of activity that happens. And it's funny because I remember being a student in school, and anytime they said, this is going to be a group project, it was like, oh my gosh, the eyes begin rolling, and everybody's like, no, I hate group projects. People would rather like do the project on their own, like as an individual and everything. But this was good. So I just wanted to kind of like talk about that a little bit as we wander around down here by this stream. And so, yeah, as I was thinking about this whole topic, how energizing group projects and teamwork and working in teams can be, I found it was because, as I was thinking it through, it was, we can't solve complex problems by ourselves. We always need a group of people that have like different perspectives and things like that. And it takes everybody coming together in the same place, the same time to work through these things. So for us, one of the complex problems we were working on is related to the next, Moon to Mars effort, which, as you can imagine, cannot be done by, a single person or even like a small group of people. It is going to take like a massive amount of people working in teams just like ours, trying to figure things out. So we spent like a concentrated 3 days together, just to work through a problem together. And it was just nice because everybody on the team came at it from a different perspective. Everybody was contributing, and yeah, it was challenging, of course, but we got through that whole, messy middle, as I called it in one of my previous videos, and got to the other side to where we created a product at the end that we were really, really happy about. We actually got further than we had expected. And also, it's something where working in teams, working in groups, it's not that any one person has the answer to the whole problem. You're working through the problem together. I call it walking the path of discovery together, where even one person may see a path to an answer, but the whole group has to walk that path together. And I think in that, the value is that everybody has a shared interest, and everybody has has a stake in the whole claim of the process and everything. Everybody has ownership in that whole process together. And so it really does, because everybody has that shared ownership and working through the problem together and contributing. It really does help to get through the solution quicker than how we could if we were just individuals, working on a project. And this is something where I think AI is this is where a team working with AI, AI just doesn't come up with an answer, and the team doesn't just say, "Oh yeah, that's the answer. We're done here." It really is like the team pulling together. In our case, we were using AI tools to kind of try to find when we were stuck and couldn't find a word for something, or we were having trouble like writing something out. It's like, what is it we want to say here? Plugging some ideas into AI to see if it sparked some additional words in our brains and things like that. But that's kind of where it ended, because it wasn't something where we could just type in the problem into AI and have it solve it for us. And it's because in many cases, like, we are the experts that are working together trying to come up with these solutions. We are the ones coming up with the information that is eventually going to train all of these tools together. And so we're creating the things that are going to teach the AI. So when you're doing something new, when you're doing something innovative, when you're doing something creative and something novel like that, it helped because we were able to use the AI as a tool, which is what it is. It's a tool to kind of work through the problem together. But it wasn't the source of the solution of the problem. It was the team working together, to come up with that. Another thing about working in teams I found too is that when you have those pauses and when you have that kind of like lull in that in between time and everything, that's where people have that time to just tell stories about, whatever is going on. In my case, we had plenty of time to just kind of talk about what's going on in everybody's lives right now. A lot of people, their kids are moving off to colleges and things like that, starting new schools. One of the people on my team even was showing us different technologies. He was showing us this cool nanny cam that he had for his dogs, and showing us his dogs at home on the camera, and through the camera system he was able to toss them little treats and everything, which was just fun. So we got to hear all about the dogs. And in that whole process of storytelling as a team, that's kind of where we relate together as human beings. That's where we connect as people. And that's really what makes things memorable in working together as human beings, even when we're doing things like working in situations where we're using tools like AI, we're still connecting as human beings. So I don't think we'll ever give up that human connection and that human piece together. But I know when I look back and I think about this whole experience together, we'll be thinking about the stories that we told in the downtime and everything, in addition to all the amazing work that we did together. So it's not all, it's not all bad working together in teams. Even if you are an individual, or even if you're an introvert and prefer working, on your own, sometimes it is good to come together. We did that where it was 3 days of just intense activity, coming together, working together on a problem. And then at the end, it was okay, we have to scatter to our corners. We have to go back and work on our things individually now, because you can only sustain that amount of energy, that amount of creative energy as a group for only so long before it starts to go downhill. So I think in our case, it was a good amount of time. But it was very intense. It was It was just the right amount of time to get what we needed to done together as a team. And then we're going to break apart, work on things separately, and then, maybe come back together again as a group. And when that happens, because we've had this connection, because we, had this shared connection and things like that, like the cohesiveness of the team is already starting to form. So I keep that in mind, and just want to share that with you all. If you all struggle with working in teams or team dynamics or things like that, but these are some of the positive things that come from working as a team, working on projects in a group of people in a positive way. So yeah, it's one of those things that I wanted to share and see what others thought about, when you think back to those times that you've worked together with people. What is it that made that memorable? Was it the stories? Was it the connections? Was it the project, that made it memorable for you? So yeah, that's just today's fun little walk in the woods as the sun is going down here, and it's getting a little cooler here on the East Coast. So that's what I wanted to share with you all tonight. I hope you all are having a good summer, getting ready for fall. I certainly am. So with that, I will thank you, and I will see you on the next random walk.